guys, what is up? It is me, MJFANGIRL, and in today's video, we're gonna be talking the most underrated everything. Yes, Michael Jackson is highly and widely recognized and known as the king of pop and one of the greatest entertainers, if not, in my opinion, the greatest entertainer to ever live. And guess what? He still has some songs, some albums, some videos, some tours, some things that are way underrated. Today, we're gonna be talking about maybe some unpopular opinions, but some things that I think are way underrated and we need to discuss. So stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. You are now watching MJFANGIRL TV.
Girl, you got to know. We can touch the sky and let
Alright, let's start with tour. To me, the most underrated Michael Jackson tour has got to be the History Tour. Okay, I know. A lot of people give it a lot of flack because they're like, well, Michael Jackson lip-synced so much, well, he didn't freestyle as much, well, he was just so older and he was slower, blah, 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 blah. Okay? You guys, Michael Jackson had been touring at this point for like, what, 30 years? I mean, during the History Tour, he's got to have been in his late 30s, almost going on 40. And so to me, I thought the really cool thing about the History Tour was the fact that he was able to hit so many different countries, so many continents around the world, and yet really have an amazing tour that covered so much of his catalog, and it also showed so much of him as a dancer and a performer. Again, we did not get as many live vocals that we had compared to, like, especially the Bad Tour, of course. Dangerous Tour as well had some live vocals, but really the History Tour was more about, I feel like, getting to those audiences. He was able to reach and touch so many audiences across the world, and to me, the History Tour is underrated just because I feel like it was a really well-crafted show. I love all of the dance moves, and I love all of the choreography and how Michael worked with the background dancers to create like this cohesive story on stage, you know, whether it's from you look at Earth Song to you look at even like the little dance break with She Drives Me Wild, you look at just so much of it. They Don't Care About Us. So many really great moments. Of course, the Billie Jean performance on History Tour is way underrated to me. So I will say that it's underrated for sure because it's got some great performances on it, and also the History Tour has the benefit of later technology. So if you're looking for a tour with really high res, I won't even say 4K because I don't even 4K video really exists for History yet. I've seen some really high quality video though for History Tour. And so if you're looking for high quality Michael Jackson tour footage, definitely check out the History Tour. Don't sleep on it. Don't let everybody's voices out there fool you guys. It's definitely worth a watch. Now let's talk music video. Michael Jackson is the king of music videos. He's got Thriller, he's got Beat It, he's got Bad, he's got Billie Jean, he's got Rock With You, he's got You Rock My World, he's got Smooth Criminal, he's got Black or White, Crazy, Scream, okay? Yeah, Earth Song. All of those amazing music videos, and I feel like for the most part, Michael Jackson music videos get lots of love. However, let's talk about the music video that has gotten to me no love, and that is Leave Me Alone. Now, Leave Me Alone is a music video that even I really didn't pay that much attention to during my fandom. It was only after Michael Jackson's passing when I got a chance to go to the Hard Rock Cafe and visit one of the auctions for some of his things. It's Julian's auction, actually, and I think it was in 2019. I went to the Hard Rock Cafe in New York City, and I was able to see the Leave Me Alone jacket and actually touch it, okay? Don't tell anybody that because it really wasn't allowed to happen, but it happened. Shout out to you, you know who made it happen. But I was able to really get a close look at that, and I was really like touched. I left and I was like literally in tears because I was like that emotional about it, and it made me want to look into the music video. Now, let me give you guys some facts about the music video. I actually pulled up my notes because I wrote a really cool article a couple years back on the Leave Me Alone video. It's on my blog, mjfangirl.com. Check it out, but here are some of the notes that I wanted to share with you guys, okay? Michael Jackson received a Grammy Award in the Best Music Video Short Form category in 1990 for Leave Me Alone. Leave Me Alone also won a Cannes Gold Lion for Best Special Effects in 1989 and a Moon Man Video Music Awards that same year for Best Special Effects. Also, I will say it was the 7th of 9 total short films from the Bad Album. So the Bad Album pretty much had a short film for almost everything. Leave Me Alone was a song that was not out originally, and then it came out as a single, and then it came out on later pressings of the Bad Album, if I am correct. So I think that's another reason why I didn't get as much love, because it was kind of like, I won't say an afterthought, but it wasn't like one of the songs that was like originally on that track list. And so I will tell you guys, Leave Me Alone was shot over the course of 3 days, but it took 9 months to complete, okay? If you guys have ever taken a look at all that has to go into what made the Leave Me Alone video, I think you guys will see why it's underrated. They used so many different types of animation. They had so many different themes running through it. I love all of the different costuming, how they incorporated bubbles, how they incorporated the Elephant Man bones. And it was basically a way of Michael talking to like the press and the media and saying to the tabloids, leave me alone. So check this out, you guys. For the Leave Me Alone video, Michael was shot on all 35mm film and then turned into still images to be cut out with X-Acto knives and then layered for animation. Director Jim Blashfield was interviewed by Rolling Stone in 2014 and revealed how complicated the process was. I'm just gonna read you guys this quote because mind-blowing. Each and every bit of it is made up of still images that are stacked on top of one another on a piece of glass. Look in any one scene and look at how many different things are going on. So each one of those had to have its own shoot. Amazing. All the animators and himself went out to photograph skies, elements of amusement parks, and wildlife featured throughout the video, except for Michael's snake and Bubbles, who were shot along with him. So cool. Even real newspaper pages, it says, were used in the beginning scenes through Michael's trailer, and footage of him singing was later superimposed on top. Do you guys remember that scene when he was singing on top of the dollar bill? I just love the Leave Me Alone video, and I think that Michael put a lot of energy and creativity into it, and so to me, that's his most underrated short film. Alright, now let's talk about most underrated era. Now, I'm gonna say this to say that I understand that not every Michael Jackson fan needs to be a Jackson 5 fan or a Jackson's era fan, but I'm still gonna have it as my answer here. The most underrated era is definitely the Jacksons era. I'm gonna say Jackson 5 as well, but more so the Jacksons era. I feel like people appreciate it, but I feel like there's not enough love and attention given to like some of the footage from that era, some of the behind the scenes. Now, I will say that the fact that we really don't have that much footage maybe is a contributor to this, but the Jacksons era to me was just such a cool era because not only was Michael, you know, branching out onto his own, the whole group was branching out onto their own, starting to write their own songs and produce and all that. But to me, from a creative standpoint, it really is underrated. You've got songs like Can You Feel It? You've got the video for Can You Feel It? Songs like Shake Your Body Down to the Ground, Show You the Way to Go, Destiny. You have, of course, you get into the Triumph album. You've got This Place Hotel, aka Heartbreak Hotel. You've got songs that really, I feel, show the creativity and what it means to branch out. In the early Motown years and in the Jackson 5 years, the Jackson 5 basically had to go along with whatever songs were written for them and things that were created for them in terms of production, and so you really saw them start to talk about things that were important to them, the Jackson 5, and you know, when they became the Jacksons. And so I love that era, and I love watching just interviews from that time. If you look at it, you could really, it's almost like foreshadowing into what Michael really thought his career was going to be or what he wanted from his career. But it's cool because, you know, you look at Thriller and Beyond, and to a lot of us that's Michael Jackson, but to me, Michael Jackson really is beginning to come into his own during that Jackson's era, that late 70s and early 80s. And to me, I think that it shows all of the potential, all of the yearning that he had for just sharing his art with the world and being creative and the possibility of the unknown. And to see it now in retrospect is really cool. And so I would encourage everybody to look at video clips, interviews, behind the scenes from the late 70s, 76, all the way to 79, even into 80 and 81, just before Thriller, basically, and let me know what you guys think, because I think it's pretty underrated, and I think it's fun to watch because it's like right before he became king. Alright, you guys, we are dwindling down. I'm gonna be telling you guys about the most underrated album, and then we're gonna get into songs next. To me, the most underrated album, I have to say, a lot of people give this love, but not the love that it deserves, and I'm gonna tell you why. The History album. And I'm gonna say that this is not just for the Michael Jackson fan community, not really for the fan community. I'm gonna say just as the world as a whole. First of all, History album really doesn't get the love because a lot of people think that it's just like a collection of like his best hits, which is not really true, right? It's a double disc. It's got the best hits, and then it's got the new songs. It's got songs and heavy hitters like They Don't Care About Us, Stranger in Moscow, Earth Song, Scream. I mean, my goodness. And the thing about the History album is not only did it come out after the Dangerous album, after, you know, Michael went through so much personal turmoil with the case and allegations and all this stuff, but it also was super autobiographical, I feel like. And I've seen people say sometimes that it's his most autobiographical work, and I would agree with that. I mean, he's really singing about things that he went through, and, you know, songs like Stranger in Moscow, you know, where he really, he was in a hotel by himself and feeling that isolation and feeling that loneliness, and that's where he penned that song. And, you know, Earth Song, which, you know, Michael Jackson was super passionate about the earth. And I feel like people know the songs, but not really to the level that they should. And this is coming from my experience going to like MJ the Musical, MJ1. Those places will see a lot of people that are really fans of the theater, or just general, very basic Michael Jackson fans. Like, yeah, they're a fan of the music, they don't hate him, they don't love him, they're a fan of the music. And a lot of people don't know those songs. And I realized that it's really because those first 4 albums, Off the Wall, Thriller, Bad, Dangerous, are really more heavily pushed. And even people, I feel like, know Invincible more than they do History album, and I'm not sure why that is. Comment down below if you guys agree with me that it's kind of underrated. I rarely hear anybody talk about the History album, and I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because it's the double disc thing. I wonder how the album would have done if he had just released it separately, you know, done History Volume 1 completely separate as just its own album, and then did History Volume 2 as its own disc and CD set, how that would have done. But I definitely think it's underrated just because I feel like a lot of the general public doesn't know about it, and sadly doesn't know those songs. And so that's another reason why I love the way that MJ the Musical and MJ1 has utilized those songs and kind of shared some of them, because I think that the general public does need to know it, because those are things that Michael really was passionate about. So now let's get into what you guys have probably all been waiting for. Most underrated songs. Now there are so many underrated songs, but I'm gonna keep this to Michael Jackson's solo career, and I'm gonna keep this to 5 songs that I think are underrated. Keep the Faith. Now, Keep the Faith is an inspirational song. It's motivational. It brings you back to like that church, like Man in the Mirror type of song. And I believe this was also written by Saida Garrett, because Michael did want another type of song similar to Man in the Mirror, something that was uplifting, something that was strong, something that was, you know, brought that I don't know, just like that uplifting spirit, the spiritual vibes. And this song to me is everything that he wanted it to be, but unfortunately there were so many other amazing tracks on the Dangerous album. I feel like this one kind of fell to the wayside. But Keep the Faith is a song that I really love. I've always found that it's a song that lifts me up. It's something that's fun to sing in the car. It's something that I feel like all MJ fans love, but we never really talk about. Not sure why that is, but I think it's cool. And the vocals on that song, like if you listen to the end, the one where he's like really going, you gotta leave him alone, all that, like, it's just, it sounds so good. Listen to that song, you guys, after you stop this video, and then come back and let me know what you think about Keep the Faith, especially that end. I don't even know what it's called. It's the bridge. It's not a chorus, but it's like he's building up and he's going higher and higher and higher, and it just doesn't stop. It's just, the song is fire and it gets no love. All right, on to the next one. All right, the next underrated song to me has got to be, and I'm gonna just say this because this is from my perception, it's underrated. I think Butterflies is underrated. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I feel like the Invincible album as a whole, we all know is underrated, and there's lots of reasons behind that as to why. You know, the promotion just wasn't there, the budget wasn't there, they didn't give Michael the budget and stuff that he would have wanted or that he was used to get to promote these albums. But I will say that Butterflies, when it first came out, I feel like people really dug it. I feel like people now even dig it. But I don't feel like it gets the credit that it's due for the vocal performance and for the fact that it really took Michael Jackson back to those R&B roots. Like, I love Butterflies, and I feel like it's not a song that the MJ community talks that much about, at least from what I see, and the general public sure doesn't talk about it as much. You know what gets a lot of love that I'm happy about is You Rock My World. It's not overrated by any means, because to me, I think it deserves all the love. To me, You Rock My World was another song that made everybody be like, yes, Michael Jackson is back, you know, like, back like he never left. That was a song that really solidified, I think, to people, yes, Michael Jackson's making his comeback. It was not gonna be, you know, he did not fall off, he's back, right, when the album came out. I just feel like the vocals were super duper good, and yeah, I feel like it's underrated. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. All right, so the next song that I feel is underrated, also for the vocals, also for the dramatics of it all, is Who Is It? Okay, you guys, Who Is It is such a great song, and I feel like it doesn't really get all the love that it deserves. Number one, I just love the storytelling of it all. I love the beatboxing. I love the layers of music. It's just such a great song musically, and I feel like it's just something that we need to show a little bit more love to. Now, I will say that the music video, and I've talked about this on the channel before, the music video to me is something that I just never understood. I think it's a European version. I think in the US they came out with like sort of like a music video compilation sort of thing. But yeah, to me, I was always like on the fence about the music video, but I always loved the song. And I feel like the Michael Jackson community, like the fan community, really loves it, but then the general public kind of doesn't really know about it or love it as much. And yeah, I love the storytelling, and I think it's a great song. So let me know what you guys think about that one. You guys, here is another song that I think is way underrated, and that is Give In To Me. Love is a feeling, like it's so good, I don't wanna hear it. Like, come on, Michael, give us all of the passion, all of the energy, all of that, okay? Give In To Me, we never talk about. I don't even think I've ever talked about it on this channel, and that's what goes to show you that it's underrated, because I've talked about a lot of songs on this channel, and I will tell you this, Give In To Me is one of those songs that you listen to after like a breakup or after like a fight with your significant other, or just anything that you have going on that's making you upset, and it's just like, it's that rage that you get when it's like a love type of situation that has gone wrong, you know? Like, it's just, it's that passion. And I love it, it's so good. And my favorite part of that song that I feel that doesn't get a lot of love is the part that he says, you and your friends be laughing at me in town, but it's okay. I got that from the video, but it's okay. I love that part. You and your friends won't be laughing, girl, when I'm not around, but it's okay. That part is so good. You guys, it's so good, and the music video is so good with Slash. It's just like, and I'm not a fan of like rock songs, really. I'm not a fan of the rock genre. You guys know my least favorite Michael Jackson song is Beat It. not really like into that, right? But I love Give In To Me, and I feel like it is a song that a lot of Michael Jackson fans love, but I feel like it deserves more. It deserves more. It deserves all the love. It's just such a great song. My goodness. All right, so just some quick facts about Give In To Me. It was written and composed by Michael Jackson and Bill Bottrell. And this is according to Wikipedia, which I don't know how true it is, but it was shot on June 25th, 1992 in Munich, Germany, 2 days before they opened the Dangerous World Tour on June 27th, 1992. So, very cool. And also the pyrotechnics in the video are computer generated and were added later on. Did not know that. But I love the indoor concert setting, and who wouldn't have loved to see Michael Jackson in that setting, like for real? That's like the music video of my dreams. I actually feel like I want to react to Give In To Me now because so good. But I don't think I can do it on here. I probably have to do it on Patreon because copyright. Anyway, let's get into my last. All right, you guys, number one song that is underrated is going to be, let me just play this and let you guys figure out the underratedness of it all.
1, 2, 3, 4. Liberian girl, you know that you came and you changed my world, just like in the movies. 1, 2, 3, 4. Liberian girl, you know that you came and you changed my world, just like in the movies. Liberian girl, you know that you came and you changed my world, just like in the movies. Liberian girl, you know that you came and you changed my world, just like in the movies. Liberian girl, you know that you came and you changed my world, just like in the movies.
Liberian Girl. Liberian Girl is the most underrated song. It's so creative, and to me, like listening to the Bad special edition interview that they did with Quincy Jones talking about how creative the song was, solidified in my mind. That's all I needed, okay? He's saying that it's the most creative, and Quincy Jones has worked with so many artists throughout the years, so many amazing artists, and he was just saying like, who thinks of that? And he's right. Like the creative, like just whatever was going on in Michael Jackson's mind to make him write this song. And the cool thing about it too was that you know, just this was one of those songs that actually made me create stories in my mind. You know how you have a song that's so good that you just start visualizing what it would be like? And I remember like being like 11 or 12 years old and thinking like, okay, like this is what it'd be like if I like, you know, was in this wedding, and this would be, and you know, and we say I do, and I love you, Liberian girl, and I'm not even Liberian. Like I was just, it made me want to be Liberian and look into Liberian, look into like, how can I be like this woman in the song, you know? And it just really was a song that spoke to me. And again, another reason why I love it is because, you know, Michael Jackson was celebrating an African woman, you know, this woman that was just so much full of allure and so lovable and so coveted. And to me that's cool as well, because it's like not a lot of people were doing that back then. Even now a lot of people are not doing that. And Michael Jackson just loved not only coming up with these stories that were like, that you could really visualize, but things that would really kind of, I guess, highlight and celebrate black people as a culture. And so I love that about Liberian Girl, just coming from as a black woman myself. But I just think that it's just such a great song as well. If you hear the background vocals and how he kind of layered those vocals and made that own harmony with himself, basically. And I've never really heard it broken down like that before. I just heard this right now as I'm looking here on a YouTube page called Michael Jackson Fan Square. And they have that, and it's a gem, you know? I didn't know that Michael's voice had that much range and it could go that deep. His voice is just so incredible. It goes from high to low, and yeah, it's just a song that really just it just gets me every time. Not to mention that beginning, like that nice touch of Swahili, which I later read that Swahili is not even spoken in Liberia, but that nakupenda pia, nakutaka pia, mpenzi, it just takes you to wherever that song is, like wherever he is at that moment. It really makes you feel like you're floating on air and into wherever the song is. So let me know down below what you guys thought. Those are my underrated everythings for Michael Jackson. Was there anything else that you guys thought that I missed on this list? Was there anything that you guys think is underrated, or do you guys disagree with me about any of these? Let me know what you guys think.